Welcome to our first ever United Fan Zone on 1878 United Fan Zone. Mikey, it's been a little while. How you been?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Sorry, just getting the links out there to people, but yeah, everything's good, man. I had a good Thanksgiving. How's your Thanksgiving?
It was great, man. I've been busy out, doing things. So, um, you know what I'm like. So, yeah, it's been good. And then also, United have been good. It's a whole bit different. So, nice to see. It's nice to see.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. It's nice to see when the players actually play for the manager
mm-hmm.
and listen to instruction, and the manager's half decent. It's good to see that we can win games. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not just winning games. It's I'm very impressed at how quick they're picking up this new formation. It's not there yet. I think the Arsenal showdown tomorrow is going to come a little too soon for us. I'd be happy with a draw, especially now that Arsenal have kind of picking up again. They got 12 goals in the last two games. So I'd be happy with a draw tomorrow. But that being said, it wouldn't surprise me if we pull out a win tomorrow.
Yeah, so we're getting straight into it. Sorry. So I'm just posting out
That's
1878 casuals. So yeah, I feel as I just posted and wrote this, I feel like the pressure's on Arsenal, right?
yeah,
It's not on us. Arsenal has had just come through a little bit of a storm. It's a bit of a I was watching United View yesterday, and they're calling it a free hit. And I'm like, yeah, I think so. I think, the manager's brand new. It's the fourth game that he would have coached. Um, there's no real expectation for us to go in and beat this number two team in the league, right?
no,
I think it's all on Arsenal to win this game because of the pressure that Liverpool, all because of yesterday's game with Liverpool and City. City's dropped. Arsenal can't afford to drop. They can't
no,
afford to draw. They have to win. Every game for them is a must win. Every game is a playoff game for them. So, with that being said, the pressure's on them to perform to stay in this race. Now, it's early to say. It is early, but Liverpool's run, they look good and they're running away with it. So, that's just added external pressure for them. With us on our side,
yeah,
it's finally getting to play a good side, finally getting to see what our thing looks like, our guys look like, this system looks like against a good side. And I think I'll be happy for a draw, but I wouldn't be surprised if we 1-0'd it, if
yeah,
we nicked a goal and won the game, because Arsenal has scored a lot in the last couple games, but they could be right back with a loss here or a draw here. They could be right back in capitulation mode like they were a couple weeks ago when
yeah,
they strung together a few losses.
yeah,
So, and people were questioning Arteta at that time, and they were in a little bit of disarray very early. So we could put them in that really quick, but there's really no sweat off our back. We don't we there's the risk is low for us.
yeah,
Win if we win, the how happy people will be crazy.
yeah. It's gonna be insane if we win tomorrow, Wednesday, should I say? And I, I, I think that we have a chance to do it. Our team seems like it's come together. Rashford looks like he's enjoying himself again. You know, uh, the first goal, obviously, with Rashford, for me, it was kind of, I honestly thought it was going a little wide. But that second one reminded me of Rashford 2 years ago, where he ran onto it and just lashed it straight between the goalie's legs. That reminded me of Rashford 2 years ago. And it's not so much the other goals that he scored since Amarim's come in. It just that one of just how he just ran on the ball and hit it. Because 2 years ago, it didn't matter what came off of his foot, right or left, it went in the back of the net. Did that kind of remind you a little bit of him 2 years ago? Just the way he
Uh,
just poof, and it went in.
I think the goalkeeper should do better there.
It does, yeah, it does, yeah,
Yeah, I don't think it's like a magnificent. I think first and foremost, good on him for taking the shot.
yeah,
You got to take him to make him. I'm one of those a proponent of that idea,
absolutely,
especially with the deflected shot. Yeah, I mean, it kind of looks it looks like it's gonna hit the post. Now, if it's
yeah,
the inside the post, outside, I don't know, but hey, you got to take him to make him. So I'm just glad he's firing and he's not. overthinking it. He's just running onto the ball and like you said, and he's not thinking about it too much. I would like to see him work a little bit more in those down periods,
Yeah.
but I mean, good to see. Great. We wrote this guy off. I mean, I definitely wrote him off, but it's crazy. Like I said, it's crazy to see what'll happen when you have a manager, a new one, and people are making a little bit of a deal that he didn't like give Ten Hag a proper send off or
Uh-huh.
whatever the case. And I'm like, listen, he was done with Ten Hag. He was just done with that experience. Sometimes a new a new lease on life with a new manager, a clean slate will get you firing like this. So good for Rashford.
I think they were all done with Ten Hag, to be honest with you.
I
They
feel like
just
he
seem,
still has his guys there. I feel
yeah,
like Delict,
Martinez.
Martinez,
Yeah.
guys like that, they still probably wanted to stick it out with him because he brought them there.
Yeah. He finally got back with Delit for what, 2 months?
Yep.
And then he was gone again. But,
Thank
all in
you.
all,
Appreciate it.
yeah. But, he got out of buy-in for it. But for me, there's still certain players who just don't seem like they're doing anything. I thought, I'm just gonna say the one player, and I was willing, and you've seen this on the Tuesday show a couple of weeks ago. I was with Cheese, and I said, let's give Anthony a chance. I'm just done. Dude, he was horrendous midweek. Horrendous. Like, what part of does he not understand that you need to get back? You're a wing back. You're now a right-sided defender. And every one of not that their goals were his fault because they came down the other side, but he still wasn't back. He was on the halfway line instead of getting back. It drives me insane that, and then the difference between him and Ahmed when Ahmed play, oh my god, like
Night and
it's
day.
just night and day. It's night and day when Ahmed plays. So I was glad to kind of I think that Anthony not coming on at the weekend was a sign that I think it might be done. I was watching his interview after the game, and they were asking him, "Hey, after December, are we going to start to see a more consistent team?" He said yes. I think he knows through December he's got to rotate. There's too many games.
Yeah.
I think in January, I think at the end of December he's going to let the players know, hey, you're not fit for my system.
Bro, the thing with I think Anthony could have got some burn in that 4-0. Like I think that would have been a game to like let him like try to see what he can do. But I mean, once again,
Yeah, but if you
just done
can't
what
do it
you got.
against Bodo Glint, you're not going to do it against Everton.
Just and you know it's crazy that I was saying on the Tuesday show, I was like, we gotta kind of respect Bodo, man, because they might give us a game.
Yeah.
And they gave us a game. They gave us a
Yes,
game,
they
man.
did.
They came right out the gate and were like, "Hey, we're not gonna lay down." And they're traveling fans,
Yeah.
mint, absolutely mint. Very, no shouts to them.
Mm.
But yeah, had to do it to him. Sorry, had to do it to you. It is what it is. But yeah, Anthony, man, Anthony, just a bum, just a bum.
Yeah.
Xerxes might not be a bum. Who knows? Who knew?
Yeah.
Who knew, right?
I think he played well. And it kind of, I'm not quite sure I know he played up front. No, he played the 10, right? Or did he play up
He
front?
was in like a false nine kind of
Yeah,
deal.
he kept dropping back, but on the team sheet, was he set as the striker or was Rashford?
I didn't see the team sheet.
Yeah. Because if he was set in that 10 position, I like that. I really like that. With it, and you can interchange between him and Mount with Bruno on the other side. But I did like Bruno in midweek in that deep role.
Yep.
Bruno was really good in that deep role, and I really like that. But it also goes to show how he's not just willing to stick with that kind of formation. He's willing to go, hey, this team is a very attacking. Say we're playing City, but we're playing City 6 months ago. I think he plays Bruno in that deeper role where Bruno could get that ball off of, the CDM and then just ping it forward to the fast players, a quick break. So I think, I like what he's doing where he's sitting there going, hang on a minute, this team's very, very fast paced. They're very much like City. We'll put Bruno back. I liked it. I really liked it. And I like what he's doing where he's moving players. Another thing that I like that he's doing is these substitutions. They're precise. They're early. and it's like, hey, this isn't working. We're gonna move it, and he's very precise with them.
Yeah, I'll say what I for Bruno, right? I like him being the pass before the pass that leads to the goal,
Hmm.
to set up everything, right?
Yeah.
Because at that point he's back deep enough that if for some odd reason there's a loss of possession or a counter. He's already back there. He's
Hmm.
back there, and then they're ready to defend that. I think the gaps in midfield still need to be sorted, but I'm okay with Bruno being there because Bruno has a bit of defending in him that he can do.
Yeah.
And he's a roughneck. He doesn't care to get dirty and get into. That's another understated thing about Bruno's game. Bruno don't care. He's not the best defender in the world, but he's gonna come. He's gonna step on you. He's gonna make you feel him, make you know, let him know that you're there. So I mean, I'm okay with him being back there. When Ugarte came on, he was there taking everything. Yeah, he was on there taking everything, doing what he does, disrupting play, disrupting passes, taking up the space, passing the ball forward. I think he's gotten a lot better with pinging balls forward, putting guys in position. And the only person I will say that I didn't really care for to be there was Martinez at times and
Uh-huh.
Delo at times. They have to figure it out on that side.
Yeah.
I don't think they played badly, but
No.
of the rest of everybody reaching and like elevating their game, they're kind. I'm looking at them a little bit like, hey, come on, it's time for this is where you guys really need to shine, right? Delo, we know you can do it. You've been here. Martinez, we know, and you know what? There was a little play in the beginning. Not to, I'm getting a little bit over it. There's a play in the beginning where Bruno puts the ball in, I think, to a running Delo, because Bruno comes down and moves the man out the way, and it just creates a space on that left hand side for the winger to run onto.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I love that because it utilizes Martinez's passing ability. He can also carry the ball, but
Yeah.
there's times where he gets caught out
Which
a
ended up
little
with a
bit.
blow, the Glint goal because he got caught out and he didn't get back in time.
Right. He gets caught out. He gets a little bit too aggressive.
Hmm.
And I think in this back three, you have to maintain the shape. You
Yeah.
have to, especially defensively. If you're gonna play the 7 5 second press rule, if you don't get there, you gotta get back to your spot because you're gonna get exposed.
Yeah. I think he was still on the halfway line when the ball went back in the net.
Yeah,
Um.
and he's probably our fastest person back there, him and Delict. I mean, I think
Mhm.
he's a little bit faster than Delict. So at the moment, I
Yeah.
think Euro might be faster than both of them.
He is. Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, you're looking with, it didn't really help that we decided. Well, he needed to play, but Malacia kind of, you could see that he'd been out for so long, he just
Yeah.
wasn't fit, and you could see when he came off how Delo completely changed the game, and we wasn't a domination like you said, and I agree also, but it was much much better once he
Yep.
came on and a fitter player was there. Um, and that's something we're starting to see. We're starting to see these players getting a lot more fit. Casey is also saying Anthony is a disgrace. He also said he was listed as a striker, but the coach said he played him as at a false nine. So he kind of, I guess what he was doing was swapping with Rashford. When he would drop back, Rashford would move into the striker position. Yeah, yeah, it makes sense.
No.
Um, I can see the players getting fitter, but I also saw how tired Ahmed was after the Ever game. He was exhausted. But that's what happens when you put in a 9.8, kind of game. So I'm excited. I'm going to be honest. I did not kind of expect to see this much of a transition this quickly. I thought after watching the team with Ten Hag that maybe the players were worse than I thought they were. But they're picking this up pretty well. Again, I'm not going to get overexcited. We'll see how far we've progressed on Wednesday when we play Arsenal. I just hope with Martinez there, I hope he doesn't put Harry Maguire back there, because if he puts Harry Maguire on that back line, Saka's going to destroy him. So I'm a little worried about that, playing that high line with Harry Maguire. I think Harry Maguire is best suited for a team more like Everton. But if we play a high line with Harry Maguire, we're going to get seriously exposed on Wednesday, especially with people like Saka.
True. Saka, Martinelli,
Hmm.
Trossard, they have the speedsters to get past you. I
Yeah.
think. I think that front three, um, will. I okay, so like the thing that you got to do against Arsenal, it's gonna be a wing fight. Like it's gonna be a flank positioning fight, right?
Yeah.
So the wing backs are gonna have to be very positive about going back and getting back early, because you're gonna have the Sakas and Martinellis of the world running at you, and also they have like a real the way they're able to get the ball to the. First off, let me stop that completely.
What's that?
Set pieces. They're the kings of set pieces at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So we haven't had the best luck with defending set pieces, especially late in games.
Yeah.
So we have to be on top of our game for anything happening from the training ground, any training ground routines that they try. Right, we have to be able to counteract that and be alert. Um, that's where Martinez's size kind of does us in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Arsenal's midfield does worry me a bit, because they're able to play it through. A lot of I think Declan Rice he's press resistant. He
Yeah.
gets the ball out. And yeah, and then once they get it to the wingers, I think it's gonna be a wing battle. I think it's definitely we're gonna have to commit guys to come back and play in defense, but I don't want to get penned in and just have them wave after wave of attack. And I also don't want to be counter attack. I want to have the ball, and I still want to implement this high line. So it'd be nice if Euro could come back for this. That'd be cool, I think, but only for like 20 or so odd minutes.
Yeah, I would put him. Honestly, I would put him on for the last 20 minutes, depending on how we're doing. If we're getting completely hammered, why not put him on a little bit before? I don't see us getting hammered, but one thing you were saying, Arsenal are good on the set pieces. They're also extremely good, and they're actually ranked number one for the last 2 years against set pieces. Against their defense is incredible on set pieces. So the only thing that I can kind of see Arsenal with is you've seen it before when Gabriel and they play a high line too. Their player got sent off. When the ball went over the top and they ran and it was last man, the player got sent off. So I can also see Man United getting a lot of goals. Especially if they play that high line. You've got Ahmed on one side, and you've got. I agree. I'd play Luke Shaw. I would start Luke Shaw. He's came on off the bench twice now. I would start Luke Shaw in this game. And then probably Delo as the wing back, left wing back, and then Shaw as the left-sided defender. So then you got Delo coming back probably with Ahmed, because Ahmed seems to have picked it up real well. But they come up front and play you. This might be with what's his name out. Why am I having a brain fart right now? With one of our players being out in midfield, this might be a good game to play Bruno in that deep line position and play Mount up front in the 10. This might be that game where he could ping that ball over and let Højlund and Rashford run onto that ball. This might be a good one.
I think the speed of Rashford is going to be mitigated by Timber, and they got some fast guys back there.
Yeah, but if Rashford could pull someone out, it's going to leave Højlund by himself.
Yeah, I think we're for speed. I think that their back four is pretty pacey. I think Gabriel's the slowest of them, and he's not all that slow, but he's also like he's like the enforcer of that back line, right? He's gonna do the dirty work.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be, bro. I'm happy to watch United again.
Yeah.
I mean, once again, we don't have a true estimate of what this team is yet. We're still, even after this game, we won't have it.
Yeah.
I don't think this game, I think we need a few more games before we could be like, all right. And I wouldn't say a few, I'd say about 5 or 6 more games before I'm like, okay, but I can see him trying to do something. And what did we say? The biggest thing for us was we wanted to see a style of play.
Yep.
We wanted to see something that was cohesive.
I
don't totally know exactly what he's aiming for, because there's times where we don't look good. Against Bodo, there's times where I'm like, okay, these guys are working it out, but then we got into it. Didn't necessarily think it was a domination like you said earlier.
Yeah.
But this Everton game, as bad as Everton has been, we did what we were supposed to do. You're supposed to go over and turn Everton over at home. You're supposed to do that.
Yeah.
That's law, right? So, shouts to
Everton
them.
haven't scored a goal in the whole entire November.
Yeah, I mean, you're supposed to do it.
Yeah.
With I mean, no respect to them because they're Scousers. I don't care about them, but 4-0 is we could have had more. We could have had more. And
Yeah.
and Brentwaite, um, Arsenal fans, man, were on the timeline. Not Arsenal. I'm sorry. Everton fans are on the timeline. I got Arsenal on the brain, and they're on the timeline. They're like, "Oh, come on, take Brentwaite, 80 million. Come on," because they want the money.
Hmm.
We'll come back in the summer for half because that right there was a terrible audition, brother.
Yeah. That was horrendous. And let's not forget one thing. That's the first time Man United have won by 4 goals since Ten Hag's debut. United never won by 4 goals under Eric Ten Hag in the Premier League.
Yeah, man. I know Ten Hag is at home just fighting the air. What did I do? Why couldn't these guys? But the thing is like I think Amarim is, and I don't know what he's doing out there. It's purely speculation, but I feel like Amarim is just like a leader of men as far as he's played the game recently.
Yeah.
He knows what to look at. A lot of these guys he's went up against, some of the older guys.
Yeah.
He's in that older way, that younger way of thinking about the game. And that best suits him today for the players of today. He's not that old,
No.
so like he's not old at all. I don't consider 38, 37, 39, 45 or none of that to be old. I think that's very young to be a manager. Remember when managers used to be 60? Remember it was just Roy Hodgson, Tony Pulis, and
Yeah.
Sam Allardyce. Those are the standard English managers, like old guys that's
Took a
been in the
while to
game
come up to the Premier
forever.
League. Yeah. You had to
Yeah,
fight your way up from the Championship and then get a good job.
yeah.
Um.
Guys were old, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bandito. United are less predictable. Okay.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I mean, I would, I'll add on to that and say that we look a lot, there's a lot more technical play happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was a back heel in the box that happened that led to a goal or led to a goal chance. And I was like, you know what? That when you play like this and you set up a certain way, it allows you to show your technical ability. And I feel like we have, thanks to Ten Hag, we'll give him some credit there. We have a lot more technically sound players. So I
Yeah.
will give Ten Hag credit in that regard.
Yeah. 1878 UnitedFanZone is coming through. Not who's typing that. It might be
It's
Casey.
probably easier for Amarim because he didn't divert from his system.
I
Yeah.
get that because Ten Hag did divert. He played the first game and we got hammered, and then within like 20 minutes he diverted from it, and I don't think he ever went back to it. I'm also wondering whether the brass above Amrim has said to the players, "You either listen or you're gone." Like I think because Amrim's one of those players. He did it at Sporting. He came in and he was like, he had all those Portuguese superstars there, and he was like, "Nope, out, out, out." And he brought in a lot of younger players like Gyökeres. I'm wondering if the backroom staff are backing him and saying, "Listen, manager's the manager now. If you don't like it, it's time to go." Because, man, like I know it's a new manager bounce attitude. It happens with every manager. You get that. It did with Ten Hag after a little while. Our first season ended up being pretty decent, being third, and then also winning the Carabao Cup. But I like it because I think that there's that backroom staff are saying, "Listen, this is his team now. He's full control. If you don't like it, you're gone." And I'm wondering if that's sort of something that they're doing, and the players are responding to that. Because I said this, and I honestly do believe this. I think on December the 31st, he's going to be knowing who he wants to stay and who he doesn't want to stay. I think he's going to know by then, after these next 12 games, like, hey, you don't fit the system.
I think there's some loan deals still to be had. I think we can make some loans happen.
We get Gyökeres on loan.
I think there's a Quenda is the midfielder that they have, their young midfield guy.
Yeah.
And I think we can make some loans happen. I think there's some money there to be made. Money there to allocate for a loan move. And that'll be a good way of auditioning some of these guys that you want, the younger guys that you want going forward. Like, hey, okay, well, you were here and I want to see you here. And actually, in December, we're gonna give you a little bit. January, we'll give you a little bit of money here. We'll split the wages, and we'll give you 6 months, and
Yeah.
we'll just see if you're gonna work out, kind of like how we did with Amrabat.
Yeah.
I would still like I think Amrabat would shine right now.
Yeah,
I
it
think
would be good.
Amrabat in this system would work out so good.
Yeah.
Like this is an Amrabat system right here. But alas, we don't have him no more. He's gone. But something like that kind of situation where we do one or two loan deals and see where guys are. Everybody's saying United is broke. Yes, Ineos has money. We could figure that out, bro. I don't think I don't know if Chelsea uh could defer $600 million worth of wages. We can figure out how to get two loanees.
Yeah. Yeah. We can definitely get some loanies in. Um, I would also go as far as to say that there's certain players on our team that need to be loaned out.
Yeah,
I see. Bandito, he'll probably know more than this. For me, is that youth team is incredible, right? Especially the under 18s. Obi Martin just broke the Premier League under 18 Premier League record for goals scored already. So I think some of those players, get them out now, get them out on loan, Championship side, be ready maybe for the summertime. But there's certain players I think needs to be go out. Amram is younger than Ashley Young, and yes, Ashley Young almost should have give away a penalty against Bruno. They should have. I don't know why Bruno didn't go down there. There was clear contact. If he had gone down, it was a certain penalty.
I respect it though. I
Yeah,
respect it.
I
I
respect
respect
it
you.
too. Yeah,
Yeah,
I,
I
I
respect
do.
you
But
staying on your feet.
yeah, instead of going down, I'm not gonna lie, I would have gone down. So I felt that. But yeah, there's a lot of players that need to go out on loan. I think Anthony should go out on loan. Um, and can someone tell me how long he has on his contract? We got him 3 years ago, right? Is next year is last year?
Yeah, he's on a 5-year deal.
Oh, we give him a 5-year deal.
I think he's on a five. He's gonna, and he's not. He has no plans of leaving.
Oh,
He still thinks he can make it.
he's gonna be another Phil Jones, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Phil Jones gave us some moments of quality. His
Yeah.
last game was very good. He played
Hey,
his
that
heart out his last game. I don't think we gotten that from Anthony since season one
yeah,
or since Barcelona. I think Barcelona was his last good game,
yeah.
and he didn't play great in that game. He just came. He just
He
scored.
just he just
Um,
scored. Yeah,
one time for Ashley Young, man, we were in the pub. We went to the early match in the pub. We're on the East
yeah.
Coast, so that's what 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, or whatever. And everybody in the pub kind of gave Ashley Young a little clap, and I
Mhm.
was very happy to see them giving him a clap at Old Trafford. He was one of those players, like he's won it with us. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And like he's one of those guys. The fact that he's still in the league is crazy. So I give a little shouts to Ashley Young. That guy has hair. He was bald by choice. He's insane.
Yeah. Ahmed could go for free in the summer. From what I'm hearing is that they're about to give him a they're about to give him a new contract. He's from what I'm hearing, I think it was 75,000 a week, because he's still young. Whether that's true or not, this is just what I'm hearing online. But there's no way Man United are gonna let Ahmed walk away for free.
He already said he wants to.
He wants to stay.
He wants to stay. He wants to play with his club forever.
Yeah,
He's already said that. Now these players say stuff like that all the time,
yeah,
but I think we could flash at least 90,000 in his face,
yeah.
and he stays. I'm
You know,
okay with giving him that because the guy works. I'm okay with giving guys a wage that work.
yeah.
It's the guys that don't work and think that they have some divine right to play for this team, or they're living on past laurels and past glory that they feel like, no, I feel like we can give that kid 90K and he'll still give us the quality we need. It's not, and even Rashford, like he's shown, he still can do it. It's being shown now.
I
You know
think
what I'm
I
saying?
think Bruno was the last big contract.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And and
because
Bruno's consistent. I mean,
yeah,
he could be bad at times, but he's Bruno. He's gonna be bad. He's gonna be
yeah.
good. He's not a
That that
world beater, but he's a good player, great player.
that bad spell he had at the beginning of the season that's his worst spell that he's had at Man United since he got here. And what was that? 5 games? It's
And
pretty
you have
impressive.
to. There's a recency bias there
Yeah.
because he's a high scoring midfielder,
Hmm.
right? And like when he doesn't score high, then or like he's not providing the assist that he normally does, like the GA, the involvements rather, then people start looking like, but it's like he's done it so high at such a high rate
Yeah.
that the minute he starts to dip, it's like, it's like my dad would say, bro, it's like when you're doing a good job, nobody notices until you're not doing a good job.
But yeah, you're not doing a good job.
Like nobody damn notices when everything is done on time, when the bills are paid on time, when the food is cooked and everything is on point and the heat's on. Nobody cares because it's happening consistently.
Yeah.
But let the lights go off one day.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, we got Forest at the weekend. We'll talk about that on the Thursday show though. Um,
Yeah, that's good.
well,
That's genius. That's
yeah,
good. Yeah.
yeah.
I
We got the
forgot we got Thursday. We got
hey, we're
Thursday.
back now. We're back. You know, we had our little break. We're back to Mondays and Thursdays now. So, um, for me, I'm just excited to have United. I'm excited to have 3 games a week. This is going to be a good spell. I think the way City are playing right now, I'm actually looking forward to playing them in 2 weeks. So, you
You
know,
see, that's the thing though.
they
They'll
were
pop
horrendous.
up.
Do you see the game yesterday, real quick? They were
Yeah.
horrendous against Liverpool.
It you know what's crazy? I was just saying that Jack Grealish like his what he's done since he's gotten there is nothing. And we don't hear it. The guy's
Mm-mm.
29 years old and we don't hear a word about it. That's to let you know how irrelevant City are.
Yeah.
Because like when their main guys aren't performing, nobody gives a damn.
No.
Nobody cares. They paid 100 million for that dude, and he's
You know,
not
his stats
doing
are actually worse than
anything.
Anthony.
He's not doing anything. But if it was Rashford,
Yeah.
oh my, Rashford goes to NBA game, it's front page news. He buys his mother a car, it's front page news. Jack Grealish doesn't score or assist anyone. He couldn't even assist his mother down the stairs right now. And the guy, nothing.
Did you?
I don't know if he's injured or what, but it
Yeah.
just goes to show you, it's a testament to show how irrelevant City really are. That they lost this game and like people are just like, oh, okay, well,
Yeah.
back to the dungeon with you.
Back to it. But yeah, his stats are actually worse than Anthony's. It's incredible how bad Jack Grealish is at City. And we just don't hear anything about it. Like I was actually expecting yesterday. I was watching the game at the pub and before the Steelers came on, and I was expecting him to Pep to look like Freddy Krueger. Dude, it was
He
like
looks sad. He
yeah,
looks
dude,
sad.
that scratching, and let me get this out there, and because I've heard this from City fans that Pep is better than Fergie. 808 games and never lost 5 in a row, buddy. 808 games Fergie played in the Premier League, managed to say, never lost 5 in a row.
I've said it in the past. I think Pep has. I think my thing with Pep is that as a world manager, yeah, I think he has Fergie licked there. But as far as in English, like in the English Premier League, no.
You know
No.
Fergie won the Champions League with Aberdeen, right? They beat.
Yeah, but like no, you didn't see that game. You don't even know the starting lineup for that game. Like that was at a time where
but they
like
beat
certain
Real
people
Madrid in
can
the
play
final.
football.
They beat Madrid in the final. That's what. Like, what's wrong with
You
Kevin
know
De
how many times they
Bruyne?
lost before that?
Yeah.
7. It's like
Yeah.
I'm giving him his props. I think he's one of the greatest managers in the world. But what Pep's
Yeah.
been able to do in this modern game, I can't overlook it. And I know Man United fans. I argue with a guy in Germany about this. We almost came to blows, and I'm like, I love Sir Alex more than anybody. I just think when you leave the Premier League and you only have 2 Champions League titles, and you had some of the best players in the world. Don't tell
Yeah.
me you haven't. You have had them too.
Mind
You
you,
know,
Pep, what
you've
Pep
been
did.
in
Yeah.
and around the best teams in the world. That '08 Man United side is probably one of the greatest football talents
Do you know?
teams you'll ever see.
Yeah, but the problem is, do you know whose team was better in 08?
Whose team
Pep's.
was better?
Pep inherited to me, Pep inherited the greatest team of all time. That Barcelona team for me is the greatest team of all time, by far. Someone said it real good here. It says Pep needs to coach his way out of this. If he wants to be considered one of the best coaches, this should be a challenge. And the reason I agree with this is because he's never faced adversity like Pep. You look
He
at he
faced
had the best team.
adversity every season. Every season when they start losing, we're like, oh, look, they're losing. And then they go on like a 23-game run where they
They
beat
do.
everybody. And then they do this every year. This is the worst it's been.
Yeah.
But they do this every year. And people are like, oh, they're starting to
Yeah.
regress. And then they beat everybody. Arsenal had the title locked up
Yeah.
for 253 days. And City just said, no, I'll just beat everybody and beat you by 8 points at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's just I
I
know it's
think this
not
is a little
fair.
I think this is a little different. I think this
Yeah, no,
city
it does
team is
look
a little
different.
different. And I'm gonna the Kevin
Sir
De
Alex
Bruyne.
also never won four Premier Leagues in a row.
Who, United?
He's never won 4 in a row.
Who's
He's
that?
never won. Fergie.
Yeah, he was only a point away from it, though. That
Yeah,
was
he's
that.
never
The only
won.
reason he didn't win 6 in a row is because Eric Cantona suspended for an entire season.
Hey, he never did it. He never did it.
Yeah,
Like,
no, he didn't. He didn't. I'll give you that. Kevin De Bruyne issue. Kevin De Bruyne is past it.
yeah, he's done.
He's done. Kevin De Bruyne is done.
Too many games.
This goes to show, like, when people say the Rodri issue. It's not a Rodri issue that City are facing right now. It's the fact that Rodri was holding this team together because the rest of the team are too old. You've got Gundogan in there who was bombed at Barcelona, came back, and has not been the same player. You know, you've got a younger person in there who's trying. They had, I think it was one of their forwards this week. I think my kid looks older than this guy. I looked at him, I was like, he looked like he's 5'4". So for me, it's kind of the team's getting old. Pep has never had to redo a team as a whole, and I think this is and it happened to United when we kind of lost 2 in a row. We lost, I believe it was Chelsea beat us 2 seasons in a row, where Fergie, the team was starting to get old, and everyone was like calling for Fergie to leave, and it was like, can Fergie change this team around? He had done it, he'd do it again, and he managed to do it. Can Pep take this team, because he's just signed on to next year, and he's probably might stay the year after, depending on what's going to happen with the Chargers? Is he able to rebuild this team? And that's the challenge for me for Pep. Not necessarily this. He's never had to rebuild a team. Can he do it?
Yeah, I mean, once again, I'm not on the Pep train. I just want to say that, like, as far as the modern game's gone, I feel like he's revolutionized the game.
Yeah.
He's had some of the best players, but I don't penalize good coaches for having the
No,
best
yeah.
players, because we're in a league that money runs. And Fergie, but before there was like, you could just go and grab a guy during the season and say, hey, I want this guy. I want
Yeah.
that guy. Fergie had some of the best players in the world.
He
We
did.
had literally one of the best players in best midfielders in the English game's history.
Yeah.
Everybody's favorite player, Scholesy. That's everybody's favorite player. Your favorite player's favorite player is Paul Scholes.
Yeah.
So, like, we've had guys, I just feel like I'm not gonna winning 6 titles, a treble, like,
Mhm.
you have to do it still.
He
You
still
got
had to,
all
yeah,
the
no,
money
he
in the
still had to
world.
do it.
Yeah, you got all the money in the world. Look at Real Madrid now with Mbappe.
Mhm.
Mbappe's supposed to be scoring 30 goals this season. None of them can figure it out over there. They
Yeah.
can't figure it out. And a lot of those guys are past it too.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard for them to say because it's Galacticos, but they have a few guys there that have gone past it. So, like, I'm not gonna use money or anything like that. I just think that as far as the world game goes, coaching at all these different clubs, winning there, no matter what the cost is. Look at Mourinho. Mourinho couldn't win at Spurs. Who could win at Spurs? You know what I'm saying?
No one
Couldn't
can
win
win
at
at Spurs.
Spurs. Came back to Chelsea, won again. Couldn't win. Really couldn't win for real at United. I mean, did win the Europa League, but Pep's not thinking about Europa Leagues, So, like, I got love for what he's done as far as the effort wise, but
Mhm.
he's still a city cunt. So
Yeah, I know. I'll always think Pep has been a great coach. Read off some of the comments, they're coming in pretty quick. Um, has always had the best team in every league he's been in. Mikey, I hear you, but this is different. Done the six
I
losing
love when
streak.
people say that. I love when people say he's always had the best team.
Yeah,
Bro, how many times Bayern Munich had the best team last year
yeah,
and got like they didn't win? It's not a given. You
yeah,
can have the best team. You have to coach it.
yeah,
That's not how it works. It's not career mode.
yeah.
When people say that, I really question what are you watching on the TV? Because how many times we've seen the best team lose?
Yeah, look at
Let me
Leicester.
put it in let me put it in American terms, because I'm a New York Giants fan. I watched the Giants beat the best team in the world twice, 2 times. It doesn't matter if your team's
Yeah,
the best. They're undefeated. It doesn't matter. The ball has to roll.
yeah,
It has to roll.
yeah. You can look at Leicester. They did not have the best team, and they still won the.
They won the league. They won the league. Spurs are supposed to win the league that year.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Their
they
best
did.
chance to win it.
Maybe City didn't build him a quality roster because they scared to spend knowing that they cheated already. Um, and then there is a middle finger with Pep.
Hey,
Yeah,
screw him. You know, screw him. But to deny him, because this is the thing that United fans do a lot. You guys can't be objective for nothing. You
yeah,
can't be objective. You can't show love when there's somebody just for the good of the game. I'm a fan of football in general. I'm a fan of United. I'm also a fan of football. I could say, hey, this guy's pretty good. This guy's good. Like, hey, Mo Salah is one of the best players to play in the Premier League.
yeah.
I can say that, and like it's not an indictment. Yeah, don't hang me on the Curry mile. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, it'll
Mm,
be fine.
yeah. I'm looking forward to. I'll always look forward. And do you know what? I said I was about to say I'm looking for. I'll look forward to City, capitulating at some point, and obviously them not winning the league this year. But on the other point, we're gonna have to watch probably Liverpool win it. Is
It's
even
also
more.
December.
Yeah, but they also have a 9 point lead in December, the highest deficit
Arsenal had
ever.
a
Yeah, but if
Arsenal
Arsenal lose
had one.
tomorrow and City win tomorrow, they go 12 points clear, and no team has ever come back from that.
Hey
The
man,
highest is
Arsenal
10.
Arsenal did it. I don't. Anything is possible, bro. Anything's possible. I'm
It
not.
is possible. Hey,
Anything's
hey,
possible.
maybe we'll. I'm gonna say
Maybe we
this.
win the league.
I think we're a little bit too. Second might be a stretch for us. But I will say this: at the beginning of the season, I put a $20 bet on Chelsea winning the league. They don't look too far fetched now. They're. I think it was a good bet, man. I saw
Yeah, I
what
mean, $20. Yeah,
20,
$20 for what? We're in the league
60
for
to
7
60 to
months.
1 too.
Yeah, that's a good return.
It's good.
I take that. That's a $20 you forget about.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
$20 to get about. But um, anything else you want to add? I know we haven't been on for a little while. I know we get back to United over City here, but
No, man. I
yeah,
want to say thank you to everybody that watched my video.
yeah, great
It's probably
video.
my most watched video of all time, with even with my other channel that I haven't used, but it's my most watched video of all time. So thank you for that. Thank you for hitting the like button, because I did, and anybody else hit the like button, please do.
I did.
Get them likes up. Thanks to everybody that's showing up. And just like, bro, we got more content on the way. Got more videos on the way. And we're doing it. How do you feel about the protest? What protest? Who protested?
The Man United fans, Liverpool fans, City fans, and Everton fans were protesting this weekend about the ticket price.
Oh, okay, yeah, I can get into that actually, because we
Yeah.
talked about it a little bit on in the message, and I just want to say, like, I don't want to get political, so I'm gonna take it a step back on that front, but I'm not a fan of raising the ticket prices, right? But I understand sometimes it's a necessary evil to cover some costs. But 60, so basically, if I want to take my son when he turns 10, right, it'd be $143
They're saying
base.
real quick. They are saying it's only till the end of the season. I
Right.
just wanted to put
And
that in.
that's fine. That's
Yeah.
fine. But you couldn't hang on. You can't hang on to till the end of the season either.
I'd rather
I'm
not because I
never
think I'm going to a game in August. So I'm gonna. I'd rather.
yeah,
I'm gonna be
I'm never
selfish here. All right, please don't.
I've never been in a proponent of the idea
Yeah.
of raising ticket prices. I think you've gutted jobs now. You gutted Fergie's job. You gutted a lot of non-essential jobs that you deem non-essential. Cool. We have a bare bone staff working. I'm not. I don't know exactly. I didn't see the protest, but I did see them raising it. I'm not ever a fan of that. I'm not a fan of a guy who doesn't pay taxes in this country. Asking people to put money towards a new stadium when in the beginning all we did was say, "Hey, can you patch the roof?" We said, "Can you patch the roof?" And Mandem said, "Nah, we're gonna build a new stadium, but we want you to pay for it." Not a
I
fan of
think if
that.
we really want to build a new stadium, we really need to get the grid. I've said this when Sir Jim took over, we became complacent on the Glacier issue. They're still, like you said it best the other day, they're not putting money into United, but they had no problem putting money into Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
No,
Zero
none.
problem putting money into Tampa Bay.
Tulane.
Yeah,
They give money to Tulane for
yeah.
whatever reason.
And it's like with for me, if the money's not going to come from the fans and the government, the only other place it's going to come through is it's going to come from the Glacier, and we know that in app. So, um, here's my kind of perspective on it is we have been run so badly for the last God knows since the Glaciers took over. I get your point there with the necessary evil. You know, at the end of the day, sometimes we don't want to see it, but if we want, as fans, want to see Man United be the best team in the world again, paying a little extra might not necessarily be like a bad thing in the short term to kind of gain that kind of that a little bit of that money back to kind of get ourselves in a position where we are able to what I think we were at 600 million in debt on transfers. So to be able to get some of that paid off, to be able to get us back in a position where we can go out and buy a couple of players and not worry about being on so much debt. As much as Man United bring in revenue, that revenue all comes from fans. You're talking about ticket prices, you're talking about shirt sales. It's all coming from the fans. And I think I understand why he's doing it, is what I'm kind of getting at. I'm not necessarily saying I agree with it, but I understand why he's doing it. This club is in such disarray financially. Kind of understand why they're doing it. So I don't want people to think, oh, he agrees with it. I don't agree with it, but I can understand why. You know what I mean?
I don't understand because like a shirt's $100 a shirt, and you drop 6 of them a
Let's not
year.
forget though, tickets are still cheaper than NFL tickets.
I mean, the NFL is not. That's not a good comparison.
I'm not
That's
saying it's a good
embarrassing.
comparison. I'm just saying it.
I don't go to
Yeah,
NFL. I don't go to NFL games because the ticket prices are
that's
expensive,
ridiculous. Yeah.
and it's a bad product because
Yeah.
like a lot of the stadiums are terrible.
Mm.
Like the Benz is good. Like if you ever come to Atlanta, go watch Atlanta United at the Benz. It's a
Yeah.
good. It's a good, and it's a good price. But even they're having an issue now because they're raising the prices in the MLS.
Yeah.
Not with that. I just feel like there's you
How would
guys are
you?
the guys at the
Yeah.
top are lining their pockets.
How would you?
Okay.
How would you suggest? Like I don't. What
What
way
I
do you
would do?
think
Oh,
What way do you think Man United can get out of this debt? Obviously, with Glazers not going to do it. We still owe 850 million from the Glazers in debt, which is if you even think about what the freaking ARP is on that, is insane.
yeah.
850 million in debt. We're talking about an average about 1.5 billion in debt right now. How do we get out of that though?
It's gonna take the guys at the top realizing that hey, maybe I don't gas up my my yacht this year.
Yeah,
Maybe I don't gas it up 3 and 4 times. Maybe I don't fly my private jet that costs $40,000 a flight, and I'm gonna do that
yeah,
400 times. It's gonna take some reduction from the top, and that's normally what the case is in general, just in
yeah,
business in general. Any business that I've seen that's thrived, that and that's had okay. Let me take it back. Any business that I've seen that has a worker base that's happy, truly happy, and that's thrived typically it comes from you know what I didn't take my bonus this year, I put it back into my workers or I put it back into my business,
yeah,
and which was essentially the workers and the work, right?
yeah,
It's going to take that, and what we have is an infinite money glitch right? If you're a GTA person to play GTA, we have an infinite money glitch that what the Glazers have. They have a money. They leverage the debt to get the club, and they just take money out and they
Yeah.
put fuck all back in unless they feel like. And all we asked for in the beginning, was, hey, maybe a coat of paint, maybe you patch the roof. And guys came in and were like, hey, we're gonna do a new thing, but we want the people to pay for it. Well, you need to stop this bonus that you get, or this
Yeah, that, I
extra.
think that's got. I think that's gone. Was though he doesn't. They don't get the dividend.
It needs to. But it just goes back to the Glazers. The
Yeah, they
Glazers
took
have to
so
show
much
us.
money out. It was on. Yeah,
There's still a cancer in the club. Basically we've slowed the cancer down, but it's still there. It's still gonna kill us.
yeah.
We just slowed it down. We got new medicine. That's Ineos is the new medicine.
I
But
think it's time.
it's time for them to go. If you said, hey, we're gonna raise your ticket prices for the year, right? Because we're gonna pay into this debt. Get rid of the debt. When we release our financial statement, we'll get rid of the debt. You can see it. You can see where your money went to getting rid of the debt, and I think people would be okay with that.
Yeah,
And then you said, hey, in 2 years' time, we raise it about $40, and then we'll revert back to the after we pay off the debt.
yeah.
And then people will be like, all right, cool. And then we'll see where we are in the stadium at that point, or whatever the case may be. But it's not happening that way. These guys are just taking money out of the club and not putting anything in. Ineos hasn't been there long enough for me to really get on them. But Sir Jim going to Manchester Council and suggesting people pay when he doesn't pay money. He lives in Monaco, so he doesn't help the British government.
Well, he was going to put some
People,
money. Ineos were going to put a section in. Yeah, I think the only reason for him to go to
it's insane.
Manchester was if you look at the bigger picture, it would help Manchester out. You know that you've been there. The surrounding area of Old Trafford it's a dump. I
Yeah, but it's
think
also
with
record unemployment, record
yeah,
like there's an issue there that people cannot spend money on a stadium right now. West Ham had the
yeah,
same issue, and they did not want to do that. They did
yeah,
not want to do it, and they still did it anyway. Just more money coming out of people's pocket. Like I can probably afford that. You could probably
yeah,
afford that. We're fortunate guys. You know what I'm saying? But like the average guy that wants to take his kid and go to the chippy after,
yeah.
I feel for that guy.
Yeah, no, I get it. I just think with the stadium, I think if the council can pay for some and to get that whole area up though, I think in the long run it would. If you look around the area of Manchester City, done a good job. They've built the area up,
Yep.
not just the stadium. I think it would be if the council put the money in. I think they know to build that area up would be beneficial for the for the area and also for the city of Manchester.
But then when
Um,
you now you're like, all right, build the area up. What does that even look like, right? That looks like
well, they're putting
more
hotels.
increased rents and
Yeah,
things around the area. There's
yeah,
17,000 people that live in that area. It's not a densely populated
no,
area of people, but it's still people that live in that area. So it's like it's tricky, it's complicated.
it is
But
complicated.
Sir Jim, man, you can't ask for money, bro. Not as a billionaire living in Monaco. You can't do it.
Yeah, so yeah, and if anything, sell your other team, put the money into Man United, buy the Glazers out, sell Nice.
Let Nice go.
Yeah,
Let Nice go. I mean, the
gotta
league
find someone to
league
buy it.
on is having an issue paying their just staying afloat. A lot of those teams since COVID, since their TV deal went belly up, they got
Yeah.
fleeced on a TV deal. Let Nice go. Let them go. They're not doing well anyway. Let them go.
Yeah, let them go. Buy a team in America, and do and funnel your players through.
There you go.
'Cause you can't, we got away with it this year being allowed in the Europa League, but it doesn't mean it's going to necessarily happen with the Champions League next year if they both end up in it. So let them go. Use the money. I do see it from their perspective though, and that, for me, I've said this before. There's got to be something in that contract that if they get rid of that money, then they're allowed to take more of Manchester because he's not a stupid businessman. He's not
No,
gonna he's not gonna pay off all that debt and go, hey, you still keep control. So I'm just hoping and praying, fingers crossed, that at some point they either do a takeover or they do a hostile takeover and get the Glazers. Get that boardroom up there and get a hostile takeover. Get them, force them out.
Let's get just lock the boardroom, lock them in the boardroom, and don't let them out until the slide paper underneath saying, "Give up
Sign
the
it.
club, sign here."
Yeah. Uh,
I'll come notarize it myself. But yeah, I'm just not a fan of that going on. So hopefully they're able to fix it. Ineos, do the right thing. Do the
yeah.
right thing.
But other than that, I will say we'll see you guys on tomorrow on this channel because we're a whole crew now. So tomorrow night, we don't need to be shouting each other's shows out now because this
Yep.
is all one big thing, one whole happy family. So we'll be back on tomorrow for that show, and then Thursday we'll be back right here again for the show for the Arsenal game. Hopefully we'll get a nice big win, and I will see you tomorrow, Mikey. Are you on tomorrow?
Hey, I will be on tomorrow. Thank you for everybody coming on. Thank you, Sean, for coming back. I know you had to kill 200 bears. So it's good
I
to
was
have you
Bear
back
Grilling
on.
it. I was Bear Grilling it. Okay.
Good to have you back, and I'll see you tomorrow, brother.
All right, man. See you later. Peace.
Peace.